Hey there fellow travelers, Mark here with Wolters World, and today we are in the Netherlands, here in Amsterdam. Got the Rijksmuseum behind me. It is a really fun place to visit, and today what we have for you are things you should know before you come to the Netherlands, okay? And you notice I keep saying the Netherlands, not Holland, because Holland are just 2 counties of the 12 that make up the Netherlands, so just so you know that one. Now let's get to the other stuff that normal tourists that are going to go and want to explore other parts, not just the red light district parts of the Netherlands. And the first thing I want to talk about is the language. Look, in the Netherlands, you do not have to speak Dutch, okay? A danku or dankje, that'll be very appreciated, but in general, you can just straight off start speaking English right away because the Dutch speak English very, very well. Like, so well that they actually get sarcastic jokes and they'll throw sarcasm back at you, and that is kind of a fun thing. Now, the Dutch people themselves are a bit reserved, but not, I guess the way I kind of put it is they're frank, they're direct, they're to the point, they don't like to waste time. So there's not always a lot of small talk, but we do have small talk. Get to the point and get your stuff out of the way. It will make your life a lot easier when you are here. So don't think they're rude. They just are very efficient in their speaking and getting to the point stuff, okay? Now, another thing you might want to talk about when you're coming to the Netherlands is, hey, what's the money there? Well, they use the euro here. It's no big deal. You know, you got your €5 bill, €10 bill, €20 bill, €50 bill. Anything bigger than that, I try to avoid just because you don't get to use it very many places, or they might not change it. It's just not worth having, so have those smaller bills. And the coins, you'll need the coins a lot when you are here because there's a lot of little snacky things you're going to do. Like when you go eat, you're going to want to have, you know, some herring or some fries or something like that from one of the shops. And those are only a few euros, so good to have some coins. Now, to get money out, there's a lot of ATMs around the country, so you won't have any problem with that. And they do let you select like 10 languages. I mean, they're really good about that here. Okay, so you do have that, so that makes it easier. Now, the next thing you probably want to know as a tourist is, how am I going to get around the Netherlands? Because you should explore outside of Amsterdam. I mean, Amsterdam's great and all, but there's so many other cool places to check out. Maybe you want to go to Haarlem or Utrecht or Maastricht or Groningen. That's the one that all of my Dutch friends like, Mark, you gotta go there. There's all kinds of cool places to go. And the thing is, the train network here is very good and it's very efficient and goes all the time, which is really nice. I mean, not like 3 o'clock in the morning, but like there's a lot of trains going all over the country. And everything's really close by because it's a relatively small country. So I'm gonna go to Haarlem this afternoon and it's like a 20-minute train ride. I go to Leiden by the Keukenhof. You know, if you're in April, May, mid-April's the best to go see the tulips and everything. That's like a 30-minute train ride away. You're right there, and so it's very easy to do. And the way you're gonna get around in the cities and stuff like that is you've gotta rent a bike. Yes, you're gonna take bikes around and you're gonna do that. Whether you rent one in Amsterdam or go biking through the tulips, or yes, seeing the 1,000 windmills that are out there, and you will see them. Biking is one of the ways to get around, and it's very easy because the country is extremely, extremely flat. Now, next thing I want to talk about is safety. You know, you might want to just like, hey, are there any things I need to worry about when I actually do come here to the Netherlands? In general, the Netherlands is pretty safe. I will say most of the issues you do find are actually going to be found in Amsterdam. One of the things I would look out for, especially in Amsterdam, is there's, in my experience, probably the most aggressive beggars and drunk beggars of anywhere I've seen in Europe are here in Amsterdam, and loud children. But seriously, you will see a lot of beggars here in Amsterdam really bothering the tourists, and they don't just go away, but say no and just walk away. Try to avoid them the best you can. But the thing is, probably the 2 things that are most dangerous for tourists when they come here, one is the bike path. Look, red is dead. That's the way I like to look at it. You see a street and there's like a red line on it, or a red pathway. That's probably for the bikes, so you want to be careful because you will almost die a couple times here. Almost, not totally die. You wouldn't be watching this. With the bikes here, because they do ride their bikes, and a lot of bikes, and you got to really pay attention because you got to look both ways all the time because you never know where they're going to be coming from. I think that's probably the biggest danger for tourists coming here. The second biggest danger for tourists coming to the Netherlands are the stairs. Look, if you're going to stay in a traditional, one of those cool, thin, you know, tiny Dutch houses that just look so cool and you want to take thousands of pictures of them, the stairwells aren't like this, they're like this. They're like a ladder, okay? And it can be very dangerous. I know we came here with Caleb when he was younger, and he fell down. We were staying in an apartment, and he fell down it, and he was cartwheeling down, and I caught his face before he totally smashed on the bottom. Chipped tooth, busted face, all kinds of stuff. It was a really, really bad thing. My mom has slipped down them as well, but she wasn't injured that badly. You really need to be careful on those. That's one of the things I would say is if you're going to be coming for like a weekend trip, do pack lightly, or any kind of trip, because you've got to drag those bags up there and it can be extremely dangerous. And the Dutch, it's not a big service economy or a service kind of thing, so they're like, look, you're Dutch, you take care of yourself, so you take care of your own bags. So if you do have problems with your knees or going up really steep ladders, make sure you check with your hotel how their situation is. Do they have an elevator and things like that? I mean, the chain hotels, the bigger hotels have it. It's not a big deal. But if you're going to rent an apartment or you're going to get like a smaller, more private hotel, that might be an issue you face. And that's another kind of safety thing out there. Another safety thing is with the drugs. Look, if you're coming to do drugs in the Netherlands, I know people do that. I don't, but I know people do. And I'm not going to judge. I'm just saying you need to be careful, okay? If you've never done drugs before and this is your, I've always wanted to go to the Netherlands to have the drugs. Look, when you go to the coffee shop, make sure, like I said before, make sure you tell them, hey, I've never done this stuff before, help me out. Because they have, it's a menu. You get a menu and they'll say, here's the things out there. Here's maybe what you should try, something lighter first and stuff like that. Maybe it's a space cake instead of a joint or something like that. You do want to be careful, because I've seen a lot of really drunk, messed up tourists and high tourists that are having a really tough time adjusting. So just be careful with that. And also, if you're, this is again mostly in Amsterdam or near the German border, there's a lot of German tourists that'll come over and smoke up and stuff. Watch out for the group of guys that have been drinking and doing drugs, because you can have some issues there. But otherwise it's pretty safe. You should be fine. It's just that sometimes you do get upset, you do get a little worried, you know, out there. And sometimes the aggressive beggars can be a bit much here in Amsterdam, but overall you're okay. And the thing is, this place like Amsterdam, once you get out of the center, it's not really an issue for any of those things. Now, in terms of accommodation you're going to have when you come to the Netherlands, there's tons of smaller hotels. Yes, there are some of the chains that are here, but more likely you're going to find smaller private hotels, independent hotels, so you will need to search those up. And I do recommend reading the reviews very carefully, and also realize that in the Netherlands you have a lot of thin, smaller buildings, so the rooms can be a lot tinier, but also with those stairwells, so do check out on those things. What we've done a lot of times when we come here is just rent an apartment, or if you're like going to the beach, you can rent a beach house, or a beach, I guess I would say condo, which was a fantastic option. Also was a lot cheaper than the hotel option out there, so that is something to look into, especially if you're going with your family, because a double room will not hold for, you know, 2 adults and a kid or stuff like that here. You're going to have some issues there, so apartments are probably your best bet. And when you're in your accommodation, you're going to want to plug in your devices, your phones and cameras and stuff like this. Traditional European plugs, the 2 circle plugs that go in, that's what they have here. Also, if you're looking in terms of your bathroom facilities in your hotel and other places, toilets work fine. You can drink the water here, it's no big deal. You can put the toilet paper down the toilet, no issues with that, so you're okay there. Next thing we'll talk about is food. What are you going to eat when you're here? Now, what's cool is you'll see when you're in Holland, the Netherlands, see, it almost happens. Holland is just like Amsterdam area, there's North and South Holland, okay, so, sorry. You'll see when you're in the Netherlands that it's hard not to do that. You'll see when you're in the Netherlands that there's a lot of international people here, and there's a lot of great international restaurants. Indonesian is probably the biggest one here you want to try out, but if you want to go for like the traditional, you know, Dutch specialties, obviously you're gonna have, you know, the pancakes here, and you get the big ones, or you can get the little tiny ones that I like to have on the street. And that's the thing, is there's a lot of really good street food when you are here. Yes, go pick up a herring, go to a food hall and go eat there and try a bunch of different stuff. Of course, you've got to have the French fries and the little tutu, the little bag thing, and with the funnel with your mayonnaise on there. My dad hates mayonnaise, but you got to try it with mayonnaise. If not, whatever they put on there, they will really drown it. Like the movie says, they'll drown it in that stuff. I mean, it's just a lot, but you'll eat it with your fork and stuff like that. But in a traditional kind of Dutch food, it's a meat and potatoes kind of place, you know, similar to Germany. You're gonna have those things, but just know that you'll get filled up here, but you're gonna do a lot more international fare when you're eating here, because the Dutch like to have international food, so there's lots of international restaurants, which is kind of cool. But of course, you still have to go and have your pancake at your Pancake House. Sorry, it's a requirement to have when you are here. And the thing is, if you're looking for quick things on the streets, I mean, yes, I said the fries, but they'll have like little croquettes and stuff. It's like, imagine like meat smushed together to look like almost like a hot dog sized thing, and they bread it and fry it. They have that, or the bitterball and the little balls that they can have. There's all kinds of little things you can snack on, which is really nice, because the thing is the prices here in the Netherlands, it's like Germany and France. You know, it's not on the cheaper side of Europe, okay? But it's not like Scandinavia expensive, but it is slightly pricey. You know, it's not super cheap. I would say I find about the price like the US, maybe a little bit more. And so you can really save a lot of money on your food, going to the food halls and eating from the kiosks and the little food stalls. It can make a big difference. Now, when you're looking at the things you're gonna do when you actually do come here to the Netherlands, look, I'll be honest, my favorite thing to do is just walk around and take in the architecture. Dutch architecture with these tiny buildings that they look like they're gonna fall over on you are just gorgeous. You can't stop taking pictures. And yes, there are canals all over the place. It's not just canal tours here in Amsterdam, you can do it other places as well. And you can actually take a canal tour and go through the locks and stuff like that, and it's great. And of course, you can take a bike tour going through and bike through the tulips. What I will say, my wife was here in April, and it's April and May. Mid-April to maybe mid-early May is the best time to come, but mid-late April is the best for the Keukenhof and seeing those things. The thing is, getting around the country is so easy. You can see the historic buildings in Haarlem. You can go check out Groningen. You can go to the port down in Rotterdam. There's all kinds of easy places to get to when you are here, so that's really cool. And also, it's something you can use to your advantage, because most people just come to go to Amsterdam. But the thing is since there's all these connections all around, if it's just you or a couple, I might stay in Haarlem and stay there to get a cheaper place. It's a nicer place with a nice little town, and then just come into Amsterdam for the day, especially if you're not big into the red light district kind of stuff, because then you can go back and have a nice, more traditional Dutch experience without all the tourists. Anyway, these are just some things I thought tourists might want to know before they come to the Netherlands. It is a nice place to visit. I have had a good time when I'm here. I have had more than 1 or 2 or 6 little toetes of fries with mayo. And I put ketchup on there, so I did get some vegetables. That's good. And I did have pancakes. Oh, and the little prolifero, I can never say how you're supposed to say it. The little tiny pancakes, they'll give you lots of different flavors you can put on top of it. Traditionally, it's the butter and powdered sugar. The lady I had it, the first one I had, she's like, no, you will have this. She knew me from my video. She's like, no, you will have this version of it. I'm like, okay. So it is pretty fun. Anyway, I hope you enjoy your time here in the Netherlands. If you want to see more 10 things that'll shock you about coming to the Netherlands, things that you don't do when you come here to Amsterdam, check us out on our website at woltersworld.com. We're also on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and we really appreciate your likes and subscriptions, and we hope you have a great time here in the Netherlands. Bye from Amsterdam.